internet world. It's Micah Dahl. I am a Minneapolis-based filmmaker, director, editor, storyteller, creator, and just wanted to go through some of the old projects that I've done, give you a little behind the scenes, talk about the process that we went through in creating it. Today we're going to talk about Seawhores, Sweaty Men Attack. Seawhores, mainstay in the Minneapolis music scene here for many, many years. Not together right now, but they spent, easily 20 years together, with members Cody Weigel and Adam Marks being the initial creators of Seawhores, and who I grew up with actually in the Fargo-Moorhead music scene. And so it's been such a fun time to see, them from back in the late 90s to see their career and all the music that they crafted and what they brought to the music scene here in Minneapolis, and just what they brought all of the places that they went and played. They went through a couple different phases of band members, and early on they were playing just Adam and Cody as a two-piece, and what they would do is they'd make this composition and they would play with a drummer, but they would record the drummer on VHS and then play with the drummer on a television when they played out. So a really creative way of having drums and having a live drum sound. Just an incredible band. Definitely think you should check them out. All their albums are really an interesting array of just beautiful music, and how they harness noise and how they harness melodies and just bridge everything together. It's really pretty beautiful. It's really pretty beautiful. It is beautiful. So anyway, Adam and Cody were the originators of the band, and then in this version, this was actually made in 2006. This was with Freddie Votel on drums and Brady, can't remember his last name, I'm sorry, Brady on guitar, on other guitar. And so with this video, was actually a project when I was going to Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and I had to shoot something with a 16 millimeter motion picture camera. So I shot this on a Bolex Palyard, I hope that's how you pronounce it, camera. And one of the things that it allowed me to do, which I was excited to experiment with, is you can actually, you can shoot, you shoot the film and it goes forward, but you can actually roll it back and then double expose it. I was interested in experimenting with that. I'd shot, maybe 3 or 4 projects on a Bolex with a Tri-X, which is what we shot on this Tri-X black and white film, which is pretty much the most basic black film that you can get. So one of the concepts that I came up with for Seawhores when I talked to them about a music video and they were on board was utilizing this. And so I wanted to use different speeds, so 60 frames, 48 frames, 18 frames, 24 frames per second is the natural real frame rate for a film. So 60 frames is slow-mo, 48 slow-mo, 18 is much more like those early films where everything is very choppy. And so I wanted to kind of utilize all of those different ranges in this, as well as the double exposure to experiment with. So when I came to them with the idea, I boarded it all out, pretty simple. The first half was very simple set that we created with some paper and cardboard. I like to do that. I like that kind of tactile look. I've used cardboard in a lot of different music videos to create either amps or phones or all sorts of different stuff, just to have it be real, but there's an element of humor, I guess, in there somewhere. Not so much with this, but just to, craft a look that would be really easy, especially with the Tri-X black and white, which is can be hard to, if you miss your exposure, then can quickly go downhill. Crafted the boards, showed everyone what my thoughts were, and then we went into their practice space and shot this in probably, with setup and everything, I think it's probably maybe 4-6 hours. When you're shooting with film, you only have a limited amount of film. So one 100-foot roll of Tri-X is, at 24 frames per second, is about 3 minutes of actual film time. So when you ramp it up to 60, you get shorter. At 48, you get less amount. So anyway, as you can see, at the beginning. Also, I should say that when I edited this piece, I had to edit on a Moviola table, which is a table where you literally have to cut and paste. So all the edits in this were hand cut and paste together. I did go through, once it was digitized, I got the piece that I crafted digitized, so that's what you're seeing. But there are a couple pieces at the end where I just used a digital cross dissolve. But otherwise, all the effects were made in camera. It's a pretty frenetic music video. We're kind of switching it back and forth with 18 frames a second, and I love that like weird look of frames, and are they speaking? What are they speaking? Is it backwards? Here's the first of the double exposure. I used just a little wheel dolly. It was an experiment, so it didn't come out perfect, but it still adds to the aesthetic of the video and something I'm really proud of. This is one of the music videos that I'm most proud of, just for the work and thought and the pre-production and the critical thinking that went into it at the front end, which always is extremely important. But this is just kind of a play on Adam and Cody friendship. And so here's some more double exposure as we kind of move in. I didn't have anything set. I was just thought maybe it would be interesting if they were moving in and out of each other in their image. Just wanted to keep it a little bit simple since it was an experiment and I did not know what it was going to look like. I like this dolly back where we reveal the rest of the band. Everyone's playing, and this is shot at 18 frames a second. It's hard to light for Tri-X, so we did our best, but I still think it looks fabulous. And here's where we got pretty interested. We got moved in with all of the different double exposures, kind of playing with that. One of the things that happened in this video is the Bullocks that I had, when I ramped it up to 60 frames a second, we could hear the motor and it went. So I shot at 60 frames a second a couple times, but then I got really nervous because I thought I was breaking the camera. And so at 48 frames a second, it wouldn't do that. Well, what we found out was that there was a problem with the motor, and when we shot at 60 frames a second, you can actually see the shutter pulling the images down as the shutter goes across the plane and pulling the images down, which was quite a beautiful mistake. Initially, when I saw it, I went, "Oh no!" And then I thought about the aesthetic quality of the music video, and I was like, "Oh, wait a second now, this might actually make it even way cooler." But it was fun to play again with double exposures, and overall really pleased with how it came out. Obviously focus and making sure your exposure settings are correct, and you don't know what you're getting with it because it's film. So it was interesting to get it when we got it back. But here's that spot where you can see the shutter like bringing it down. And just like with the amplification of the music, it just fits so perfectly aesthetically. It was really fun to show the guys once I got a cut done. Everyone was like, "Whoa, that's pretty awesome." And so, it's nice to have these kind of clean 48 frames a second, and then cutting to the music. I will tell you that having to cut it on a Moviola and cut like 2 frames. Paste 2 frames, paste to see if it would match the the freneticness of it was a lot of work. but it worked out real well. So anyway, but I had some really great help from some peers at MCAD, Noah Puckett, Joe Clark, Hillary Berg. Oh yeah, Shane McAllister, that's right. It's a good thing I'm watching that. And then this was just something funny that we did at the very end with Cody, and I shot it at 60 frames a second, so it was like, woo! Anyway. So it is one of the pieces that I'm most proud of. I think that just the work that went into crafting it, obviously, but getting the buy-in, collaborating with Seawhores, being able to show them here's the vision with the boards, and make it a relatively simple shoot, and do some experimenting with 16mm film. It really turned out better than I think I could have imagined, and I really learned a lot from it. in terms of working, just thinking critically about pre-production. That's always very important. Every project is different, you know, like I said with the deepfakes, magnetic rock, we had some initial ideas and kind of let those ideas expand as we experimented with filming stuff in the woods. You know, pretty much everything else I've shot has been well written out, collaborated on, storyboarded out, and then you think of the production and what you need for that, and then you go and do it and you see what happens. And it was really a pleasure to do this, and thanks for watching. I guess you could hit the subscribe button, and there's a link that you can watch this music video if you like, or just visit my website. Anyway, cheers.